Oh, are we working today?
Hey, you were right.
Wow, I did it. It's already recorded too.
I know. I just heard
Yeah.
it say that.
Nice. How are you today?
Good, good.
Awesome. I was in here trying to create what you call a PowerPoint. It was my first time doing one. I'm letting the whole world know. So nervous, you know. I'm so old school. I gotta catch up. Like really.
I have
Oh,
I have an older daughter in her 20s that I rely on her a lot when it comes to certain things.
young folks, they got it down pat.
They do. They do.
Mhm. Not Joe Major.
So major.
Not me. I don't have it down pat. So you ready to get started?
Ready? I'm ready.
Okay. Um, so for those that are, you know, listening, what have you, for those that's going to tune in, we're here to basically talk about fitness and nutrition. My name is Joe Major. I'm the health place coordinator here on the campus of Johnson C. Smith University. And I'm going to let my guest introduce herself.
Hello, I am Jessica Barrett. I am a registered dietitian here in Charlotte. I've been working with Johnson C. Smith now for a couple of years. I recently started working with Joe, but I've been working with the football players over at Johnson C. Smith.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So we really have Ms. Barrett busy here on the campus of Johnson C. Smith, and she's been vital and very important to our athletic program. So we basically going to get started. In terms of nutrition and fitness, Jessica, why is nutrition important for fitness?
Short answer, it helps fuel your workout. There are people out there that can, go out and eat a cheeseburger and fries and then go do something. But they'll definitely notice a difference when they're eating better food at the right time. It's going to really fuel their workout and also help restore their recovery.
Okay. Now, it is said that the first meal of the day, breakfast, is the most important meal of the day. Let's talk about that. Tell me what you think about that, because everybody says that.
Yes, they do, and I think every meal is important. But the reason why the breakfast is considered the most important meal, it's because it's going to really jumpstart your metabolism, or not jumpstart your metabolism. So if you hold off and wait to eat until about noon, your metabolism isn't going to kick in, and you should trick your body and change your to start storing fat instead of utilizing these calories as energy and a source of fuel. What you eat in the morning is important. Having a big old breakfast every once in a while is fine. Sure that it's more balanced and more lighter, because we sleep all night, and so our digestive system has had a chance to rest. So you don't want to overload it with a lot of food that requires it to do a lot of digestion. You kind of want to ease your digestive system right into the day and from there.
Okay. Now, I don't think a whole lot of folks know what type of food to eat prior to exercising. So one of my questions is, what are, to fuel up, they always say you want to fuel up before exercising. Mm-hmm. What are those foods that you can eat, and how long should it be? How much time should you give yourself before working out? So if I'm about to start working out, I want to grab something to eat. Should I eat at least 30, 45, or 60 minutes before working out?
Good question, Joe. It really depends. I mean, you can go as far out as about 2 to 3 hours before your workout. And that's when you're going to want to start using more complex carbohydrates, because that's going to go through your digestive system slowly. It's going to help turn your carbohydrates into other known as sugar. It's going to go through your blood, and then and so that's what we really want to use as our source of energy when it comes to working out. So doing that 2 to 3 hours beforehand is going to allow the body to have time to set that up for yourself. Now,
Okay.
if you didn't think about it beforehand that far out, that's okay. There are other ways to go about it. 20 minutes to 30 minutes before a workout, you can always eat simple carbohydrates. I like using bananas because they are high in simple carbs, which goes through the digestive system easily, and you can store immediately. And then it's also low in protein and fat. And you don't want to have too much protein and fat before a workout because it's going to actually be counterintuitive for your workout and it's going to slow you down.
Now I know you talk about bananas and everything. I mean, can we eat other fruits like
Yeah.
berries, grapes, and oranges?
Absolutely. So all those fruits you just mentioned, fruit in general, are quickly absorbed through the digestive system. And so all of those are really good options, shortly before a workout to use. I use the banana as an example because I've played around with fruit before. And I find that it's been most effective for me to use the banana instead of another type of fruit. However, somebody's body is probably completely different than mine. A different fruit, they may find that is a better feel for them. Does
Okay.
that make sense? Yeah.
I see a lot of people, they always carry nuts with them, and the nuts are always almonds,
Yeah.
because folks come here to the health place on the campus, and a lot of, especially the young folks, they would have like a little bag of almond nuts and everything.
Mhm.
I mean, what is that something that you can eat too?
Yeah, you
prior, during?
after. You want to eat almonds or any types of nuts after a performance, any
Okay.
type of, whether it's exercise or you're in a game or something. Eating nuts prior to performance is just going to provide you with a little too much fat and a little too much protein that you're not going to be using for that workout, unless you're utilizing fat as your source of energy.
Okay.
But our systems are designed to use carbohydrates as the number one source. And so if you're using carbohydrates as your source of energy, now your body's having to process this fat and protein that, again, it's not going to be used for this workout. And so it's got to put all those nutrients somewhere. And so in return, now your body's not working as efficiently, and it's going to slow you down a bit. You may not notice it right away, but when you start utilizing, like understanding your system and understanding the way your metabolism works and how your energy sources work, and you start using those carbs, you're gonna start to notice.
Right. Now we talking about the post workouts and everything. I know you just said that almond is good to eat after working out. What are some other foods that folks who are heavy into working out, and doing fitness, trying to stay in shape, what are some other foods that they can eat after working out? And because I know we want to, a lot of people want to work out, lose weight, a lot of people working out to gain muscle and everything. I was always, people, well, I ain't gonna say I was always told, but I heard people always like drinking milk and everything, chocolate milk for recovery. So outside of that, in terms of recovery, what are some foods that are taken?
So the theory behind using milk, I mean, per cup of milk, there's about 8 grams of protein in it. And so you want to make sure that after an exercise, you want to put protein back into your body because you're burning this energy, you're using your muscles, you're breaking them up. And so now you have to restore. And so you want to make sure that you put protein back in. You want to also make sure that you're putting fat back in and carbohydrates. So the reason why milk in general is because it's got carbs, about 12 grams of carbs. It's got protein, 8 grams. And then depending on the milk you're using. So if it's a whole milk, it's going to be a higher fat all the way down to a reduced fat milk. So that's the theory behind like chocolate milk or milk in general. You don't have to use that. There you can have if you need something quick, and I know college students are often having to run around a lot, so they may not be able to just sit down and have a meal right after workout because they may have a class. You can like a handful of nuts. It doesn't have to be almonds. Almonds are great, but there are other nuts and you can use them. You can use seeds, but then you can also have a balanced meal, which is a protein source, a carb source, and then non-starchy vegetables. And that's going to give you that protein, that fat, and those carbs that you're looking for.
Okay. Now, Jessica, I know that you can't just eat. People are working so hard to try to lose weight, and they think by eating less food or just eating one meal a day is going to help them lose that weight, and not realizing that they're really, really starving their bodies.
Yeah.
And I guess I was always told that, if you starve your body, whatever you eat, your body will take it in and store weight.
Sorry. FedEx is here.
So with that being,
repeat that for me.
And I just want, if anybody listening to it, I want you to explain to them that it is not safe to just focus on one meal a day.
Right. Yeah. So starving yourself, I mean, even if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to starve yourself because your body starts to realize what's going on. It's like, wait a minute, I'm being starved. And our bodies are designed to figure out ways so that it can conserve energy. And so next time you actually eat, that your body's going to say, I need to store this as fat. And so it's counterintuitive. So if you're not eating as much, it could wind up causing you to gain weight. So having the right balance of calories is important. So not too little and not too much, because if you're eating too many calories, obviously you're going to gain weight as well. So finding that perfect balance, because I think, in order to lose 1 pound, you have to reduce your calories by 3,500 calories. And so you don't want to do that in one day. You kind of want to break that up. You may want to break that up into an entire week, so 500 calories a day, or 2 weeks, 250 calories a day.
Wow. And see, I wanted to talk about that in terms of calories. Calories, intake. How much calories should a person should be eating a day?
Yeah, that each person's different, right? So you're taller than me, or bigger person than me, or male, so you're going to want and need more calories. I think a good way I think one of the easiest way for someone to assess, it's like, if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, you're going to use the same concept. Kind of figure out what you're currently eating calorically, because we are habitual, right? So some of our meals and snacks that we eat are quite often, and then every once in a while we might splurge in a different direction. But overall, we have a basic understanding of what we're eating. I have a tendency to eat a lot of beans and rice. I have a tendency to eat tofu. And so I can record a few days and maybe even up to a week of how many calories I'm getting in a day through food and beverages. And then I look at that. And quite often when I look at that, even with my clients, they don't really venture off from one day to another. They may be up 200 calories one day or down 200 calories one day, but it really isn't that far off. So then you take that, add those calories up, divide it by the number of days you use. So in this case, we're talking 7 days, and you get an average amount of calories that you're consuming on a regular basis. And so that becomes your baseline. And then you decide, like, if you're trying to lose weight, all right, I need to, let's say that number came out to 2,000 calories. if I'm trying to lose weight on a regular basis, I need to make sure I'm eating less than 200 calories. Or if I'm trying to gain weight, I need to make sure I'm eating more than 200 calories. And you want to start shifting it where, whether if you're trying to lose weight, you're eating less calories so that your scale is going to start to show, not even just the scale, because it's not the only measurement. Your clothes are going to start to feel different. So that is one of the easiest way to go about it. I know there's a lot of different tools out there to figure out like what your weight and height is and how to lose weight. But the problem with some of those systems are they don't know how many calories you're currently eating. And it becomes more of a ballpark. So if you're able to kind of get a little quick snapshot of how many calories am I currently eating today or on average in a day, then you can figure out what you need to be doing in order to meet your goals.
Right. I'm not a nutritionist or registered dietitian or anything like that. So I try not to tell people, what they should and should not eat. That's not my job. But I always tell folks, get yourself a journal.
Yeah.
And journal. In that journal, put down what you eat every day. And if there's an opportunity to record the calories that you're intaking, then that'd be great. And then they can get with, a Jessica Barrett and let her consult with them about, what they should and should not eat and how many calories and everything. I know you're the expert with that. And so that's what I try to tell people, that's what you want to do. Document everything so you can share with that registered dietitian or nutritionist or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, understanding someone's eating patterns and habits is important. And there's a lot that goes behind counseling, nutrition counseling. And one of them is really behavioral change, because if you think about all that goes into every meal that you're eating, there are reasons you're eating those particular foods, whether you grew up with those foods, whether your peers were eating those foods, whether you eat those types of food when you're angry, happy, mad, sad, whatever. There's all reasons why we eat. And so simply saying eat this or don't eat this is not necessarily working on that psychological aspect of why you're eating that in the first place. So recording your food intake really helps a dietitian understand what type of foods does this person like.
Right.
Where are they kind of leaning towards as far as percentage of fat versus carbs versus protein? How many micronutrients are they getting, like vitamins and minerals? Are they deficient in those? And so really getting an understanding or snapshot of what someone's eating can really help switch that over to make it easier so they're no longer dieting. So there's no so if I was counseling you and I saw what you ate and then you start telling me you don't like tofu, well, there would be no point of putting tofu on your plate and saying start eating tofu. So it's one of those things that it's very customized, one person from another, and you're not measuring every client the same way or person the same way. So some of my clients, we don't measure health by weight. We do it by the way we feel, energy-wise, whether we're having cloudy, funky, or we're crashing midday, and we start measuring health that way, and they see results that way. Some of my clients really prefer to use the scale as a measurement. And so they focus more on that scale approach and not so much that how do I feel approach. And so you're really customizing your programs and designing it specifically for the person that's in front of you.
Okay. Now, my next question is about this Nutrisystem. I know some people, who does it, that Nutrisystem. I guess it's all about what you eat, the point system. I don't know, is that Jenny Craig's or what have you? One of them is about the point system. You got the explain that. Does it work?
So that's Weight Watchers you're talking about.
Okay, wait.
New system, and I believe Jenny Craig as well. Is Jenny Craig even around anymore? But
I don't think so. So it's Weight Watchers that's on the point system, right?
Yeah.
In terms of what you eat, they take points or
yeah.
what?
So,
Yeah.
so it's designed to you have a set of amount of points that you have to eat every day.
Right.
A long time ago, I was on Weight Watchers. I want to say probably back in 2007, I was on Weight Watchers. One of the things I learned from it is that I like to eat. I like to eat volume. Like, I don't want to have like a small amount on my plate. I want to eat volume. And so I figured out a way to do this where I was eating more foods that were 0 points. And so that, by the time I got to the end of my day, let's say I needed 30 points. I don't remember my points that I needed. And day I had like 5 points, and you have to eat them. You can't just like, oh, good, that's less. Because like I told you earlier, if you eat too few calories, you could gain weight. So I would have these extra points at the end of the day, which allowed me to have a fudge pop. And I loved it. And so like, I learned to set up my day through Weight Watchers where I was also eating some sort of a dessert. That's what I liked about it. However, it takes all the guesswork out for you. So somebody else, this system, the program is designed that you're doing things based on points and not really understanding your food. Like, why is this 0 points? Why is that 5 points? And, there's some assumptions on why those things are that. But learning more about your foods is really going to help you in the long 20 years from now, and you're no longer on Weight Watchers, or so it is a good program. People have lost weight and have become healthy on it, and so it's a good program. However, it's not teaching you and planting seeds what you should be really fueling your body with. And so that's the difficulty with the program, is I'm really for giving the information to the client and letting them, know what foods are going to be working best for their body type, and what foods that they might want to keep more in moderation. And yeah, of course, keep cake and all that kind of stuff in moderation. But there are other foods that we don't think of keeping in moderation. So that's why I don't promote Weight Watchers, is because it really isn't helping you in those terms. Now, don't get me wrong, it's been many years since I've worked with Weight Watchers. So like I said, that was probably 2007. The program has since changed. So there might be new information that I might be missing in this conversation. Maybe they are educating people more on that, but that's from what I know.
Okay. Now, I know this, you and I know this. People are so obsessed with losing weight. So people will do and try anything. But how often should a person weigh themselves?
Yeah, that really is per person. So I never recommend weighing per day unless you have something specific, like a sport that is weight driven. That would be requiring you to be more monitoring of that. For the average person, I would say if you're looking to weigh yourself, no more than once a week. And for some people, it could be a month, because it's interesting how many people I talk to and actually very recently people are telling me, some days I go on the scale like, oh, I totally gained 5 pounds. And I get on the scale and I lost 3 pounds. And then there are other times I'm like, I feel great. I know I lost weight and I had gained weight. And so what that tells us is that there is a psychological thing going on inside, that we're not truly understanding the way we feel, how we feel. And we're putting too much effort and focus into that scale rather than how we feel. And so while, weighing yourself isn't bad, we know that this as the only measure is not the only way to gauge your health, and understanding why do I want to lose weight in the first place? Is it because I want to be healthier? Is it because I want to look better or feel better? Like, so all those questions matter when it comes to how many times you should be going on the scale.
Okay. Wow. I tell you, I think just a lot of people, one thing that bothers me is that, folks trying to eat healthy as possible. And sometimes the healthier foods that you need to partake in is so expensive.
Could be, yeah, could be.
Yeah, and so most people can't afford the healthy food. So, they buy whatever their money can, afford to let them buy,
Absolutely.
I tell you, it was much easier for me coming up because I'll be honest, I'm just an old country boy from South Carolina. And so my grandmother, she did the collards, she did the string beans and snap peas and butter beans, corn, all that stuff that came from the earth, That's why, we all just stayed healthy. And then, whatever she fixed for us to eat, that's what we were going to eat. If it was on our plate, we're going to eat it, and you're not going to leave the table until it's finished.
Mm.
All I know is that during the summertime, when school's out on a Friday, my mother be like, "Hey, y'all need to pack your clothes. Y'all going out in the country with your grandmother." And we already know when we go out there, it wasn't no gaining weight because all we did was play. We ran. Yeah. We was all over the place. But, because she had that garden and everything, we were able to eat healthy,
Absolutely.
And the crazy thing is, we got 3 meals a day. Yep. A lot of kids are not getting 3 meals a day.
Absolutely.
3 meals a day. And I'll be honest, I might be one of them. I'll grab a fruit or something early in the morning, and then I eat something for lunch and I eat dinner. But I know Joe Mason, don't eat enough, during, the morning time for breakfast. And that's something that, might not, could be because I'm not as busy. I don't do a whole lot early in the morning versus, that 11 and on, so, we want to encourage folks to eat healthy as possible.
So you mentioned expense being a huge factor, and that's actually an area that I have been focusing on for several years now. And I'm going to use the term debunk, and there are always exceptions to the rule about what I'm about to say here. You talked about food from the earth. Mm-hmm. Most of our food from the earth is our least expensive food on the market. So if you have access, and this is where that comes in, if you have access to a grocery store that's close by, if you don't have a car, if it's in walking distance. So right. If you have access to a grocery store and you shop the perimeter of that grocery store, not even just the perimeter. So like I have a Food Lion right down the block. The vegetables are not expensive. Like right. Most of your vegetables are not expensive. You may get some exotic things that are expensive, but your basic vegetables are actually very low in price. Another thing that's low in price is pastas, holy pastas, brown rice. Right. Things in general are very low in price. So off the top of my head, I can go to Food Lion and get like 2 cups. I think it comes out to of brown rice for $1. And so that 2 cups net expands. I can feed a family of 6 to 8 people with that, and then use some other foods in it.
Not the way me and you eat.
So here's what I did is when I was working with the football team and doing pregame meals, one thing right. I took into consideration is I want to feed them food that they're going to enjoy, right? That's going to be healthy, that's going to fuel their bodies before the game, and so that they're not processing things that they don't need so much. So I made sure it was moderate in protein and fat and heavier on the complex carbs. I also put some simple carbs in it as well. But then on top of it, I made sure that every ingredient that went into that entire meal was cost efficient, and that they could buy within a certain radius of Johnson C. Smith.
Right.
Like, so where Johnson C. Smith stands and where the grocery stores are, where your grocery stores are, that you can buy those same products that I use right there. Now, I
Right.
know they don't have a kitchen, so they can't go and making rice and beans, carne con papas, like all the things I made. But I wanted to teach them that living and eating healthy does not need to be expensive. And just like we can go out to a restaurant and get a filet mignon and lobster, doesn't make those items healthy. It just means they're expensive. So that's where there's like the debunking of healthy foods. I can go here in Charlotte and go to a restaurant that is healthy, but they're charging me more because, you know, there's the executive chef, there's all these cost factors that go into that meal. But in
Right.
general, our least expensive foods in a grocery store are our plant foods. And so if you go, like, if you really look into that, you're like, wow, I can afford these things. These are affordable. And so remember I said there are exceptions to the rule, and that one of them being access. You know, if you don't have access to a supermarket and your closest access is a what is it called? Why am I forgetting? Gas station. So some people, like, and that's where they're getting foods, like, and it winds up being processed foods. So that would be an exception to the rule, and I wouldn't fit under the same umbrella as healthy. You have to be able to access it in order to benefit from that.
Right. 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 And I know you was talking about the gas stations and everything, and then you think in like in this Northwest corridor right here, Smith, they have a Dollar General right here by the campus, and then almost on every 3 blocks there's a Family Dollar. There's a Family Dollar at LaSalle. There's a Family Dollar right there at Grisgrove Road in Batesford. There's a Family Dollars at Batesford Road in Sunset. There's a Family Dollars at Batesford Road and Mount Hollis, Huntersville Road. That's 4 Family Dollars.
And they do have healthy food there.
Yeah, and they have a few help. You just got to make wise choices, you know. But and they're you know, they in what we call a predominantly African American community and everything. So that's just like the streets, the walkways. Now they try to make it more accessible for folks to get out and walk and everything, you know, with walks and areas where people can walk across the street and not have to rush, you know, when cars are coming and everything. So changes are being made in this Northwest corridor that can help people who really want to focus on being fit.
Absolutely.
And Johnson C. Smith Health Flex.
Excellent. I love that things are changing so that things are, well, like you're saying, accessible, as well as being able to get out and walk. People undervalue what walking can do for you. You know, if especially people that are living sedentary lives and not necessarily getting up and going to the gym like you and I, being able to just walk 20 to 30 minutes a day is going to better their health than not doing it at all. So walking is a very good thing. Even if you're not huffing and puffing doing it, you're getting that blood circulating through your body. And therefore, when your blood is circulating, you're getting your nutrients everywhere in your body where it needs to be.
Right.
It's not sluggish and slowed down.
Right.
And so, since this is Men's Health Month, right? Is
this still Men's Health Month?
It is, right? June 25th.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw some statistics up for you.
Oh, yes. We talked about that. Yes. It was. Yes.
So I think most people nowadays know that if we look at life expectancy, and this has been for a long time, women on average live longer than men by a couple of years. And so what I did is I went to the CDC website and I checked out the statistics, and I broke it down with men. And then I was alarmed because it used to be, I remember, even when I was in school, I remember men were living to the age of 78 and women were in the 80s. And when I broke these statistics down and I see non-Hispanic Black men life expectancy from 2019 to the first half of 2020 decreased by 3 years. It was 71.3 and now it's 68.3. And for Hispanic men, it declined by 2.4 years. 79 was the life expectancy, and now it's 76.6. And then non-Hispanic white men declined by only 0.8 years, 76.3 to 75.5. All these numbers that I'm mentioning, with the exception of the Hispanic men, that first number where it used to be was at the mark. I mean, Hispanic men was at that mark that I remember, that 78 life expectancy. But now I'm seeing it's a lot less in such a short amount of time since I went to school versus now. And we need to start analyzing why. Well, one, why is a man's life expectancy less than that of a woman? And there are so many reasons, and we probably don't know all the reasons. But in general, we can kind of break some of it down. One, we have to take health care into consideration. Access to health care, it's got to be one of them. Another one would be more often men have riskier jobs that can cause accident, whether it be military combat, not that women aren't in it, but there are more men in it, construction, police officer, like all these types of jobs can bring greater risk. Men often don't socialize quite as much as women. So when you have a problem, you're more likely to keep it to yourself, where women kind of lean on each other, and it helps get it out. And so while women suffer through depression as well, when men suffer through depression, and this is not all men, they are more likely to keep it to themselves and not seek help. So they're more likely to commit suicide. And so these are factors that all contribute to the life expectancy. And so I bring this up not to scare anybody, but to understand that there are some things that are within our control, and there are some things that aren't in our control. And mental health, eating better, exercising, focusing on yourself in that sense, and trying to be happy, sleeping well, these types of things, if they are within your control, they can increase your life expectancy. And I wanted to bring that up because I thought it was pretty alarming. I don't want to see my men die, I got a husband, I don't want him dying before me.
Jessica, I was thinking about, okay, so what can we actually do next month for the month of July? And I think it's just a continuation to bring fitness and nutrition, mental health, PTSD, bring all that and put it together, because you just said it.
Yeah.
You just said it, the life expectancy of men, and what are we doing wrong? What are we not doing, to live longer?
Yeah. We put a lot on our men's shoulders, right? You're all supposed to be tough. You're not supposed to express yourself. You're not a lot of men don't like to go to the doctor, so they avoid it, so they don't get health screenings. And so you are one of them.
I don't like going. I mean, you have to put fear of God in me. Now, I have an appointment in like the second week in July, and I know if I cancel, that visit, my doctor gonna get on the horn and call me.
Good.
Is there a problem?
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, he's the doctor for Johnson C. Smith up at the the health center.
Nice. And
So
so it
it's
is
not
important.
that high, right? But when you got folks who really care about you and care about your health and everything, that is something special. But
Yes.
we need people to care about themselves,
Yes.
not just outside individuals. You got to care about your health and take care of yourself, because like I always tell people, it's all about spirit, mind, and body. You take care of your body, it'll take care of you.
Yeah.
You talk about mind and that mental capacity, what have you. It all comes together. I want to live for a long time. I mean, it's some
Same.
stuff I can stop doing. I'm gonna continue to exercise now.
Yeah.
I get lately here about 8 miles in every day.
Nice.
And thank God I work in a fitness facility where I can do a little bit of that working out here.
Yeah, absolutely. That type of access is wonderful. And that's great. One, yes, you better go to the doctors in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
But two, encourage the other men in your area, everyone to make sure they're getting health screens, so that they can understand and get a baseline of, not, I don't even want to say a baseline, because not everything is in a health screening is going to be caught. One
Right.
thing I am, they're not always on an annual checkup. They're not always automatically doing blood work. Some are, but
Mhm.
not all. And so someone in my family had gone for a health screening 1 year, had slightly high cholesterol. And so
Right.
when they went for their next checkup the following year, they didn't do any lab work. And to me, negligent. You just had somebody that was slightly high in cholesterol the year before, and heart disease is a silent killer.
Yes.
And you're not going to check their cholesterol again to see if they've made changes. So the following year that they went, I said, you need to advocate for yourself. You need to make sure you're getting blood work, even if they say no, you're getting that blood work. And we will monitor that. So always advocate for yourself. Always advocate for the other people around you. And like you were saying, you got to care about yourself. So if anybody's hearing this today and they do care about themselves, make sure you're letting other people know, because they may not know that they need to speak to, that they need to make sure they're doing what they need to. And when they see something that isn't right, that they need to speak up about it and really advocate for their own health.
Mhm. So if anyone out there listening to us today, if you're not working out and if you want to get started, you can get started here on the campus of Johnson C. Smith University at our Healthplex. We're located just below Brave Boy Gymnasium. If you would like to call us, you can reach us at 704-330-1372. That's my direct line. I can get you started into physical fitness. Now, for those who need a nutritionist or registered dietitian, you're listening to her right now, Ms. Jessica Barrett. So I'm going to let her share her contact information with you all. Okay, you can get started at the same time with fitness and communicating with a registered dietitian in terms of your eating habits and everything, and what you need to be eating and what's not good. She can help you with that. Jessica?
Absolutely. So there are 2 ways to get in touch with me. You can email me at JAM as in Mary 214@gmail.com. If you don't remember this, just go to Joe. He has that email address.
Yes.
And my phone number, it's a Jersey Exchange. It's 201-362-0613. Joe Major also has that phone number as well. So if you didn't write this down and you don't want to pause, you can just go to Joe and say, I would like to get in contact with Jessica Barrett. I would say the best way would be to email me, because I might not be accessible in the moment that you're calling. So that would be like, reach out to me that way. But if you feel the need to call my cell phone, that's fine as well. You might just need to leave either a voicemail or a text message.
So we hope that the ones who are listening enjoyed the conversation and everything and got something from it. We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have a blessed day.
Yes, Joe, was always, as always, it's always nice chatting with you. I'm sure we'll be chatting again next month and probably seeing
Yes.
each other before then, because I know I'm going to be coming on campus soon, hopefully to talk to the football players. So I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon.
Right. And next month, I want to bring it all together with myself, you, and our director of counseling. So we can talk about the mental health and everything and nutrition, fitness, and just put it all together.
Absolutely.
And we can get more people, to chime in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the talk. All right. Have a good one, Jessica.
All right, you too.
Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Will do.
Bye.
Bye-bye.